How's it going? Do you want to know the secrets to success for your career? Good, because I am going to tell you whether you like it or not. How's it going? My name is Brendan. I am a recovering accountant based here in London, and this channel is designed to help millennials navigate busy lives and make sure that work does not suck. Sorry, I don't know what my hand's doing. I get a little bit carried away because this stuff matters to me, and I want to make sure that you have the best possible chance to succeed in whatever it is that you want to do. So why am I making this video today? Well, I've been pondering the meaning of life. No, not the Holy Grail or a Monty Python sketch, but actually, how do we help avoid pitfalls and make sure that you out there can avoid some of the mistakes and some of the challenges that I've encountered so that you can get to where you want to be quicker. Now, I can't help you necessarily actually do it, but I can tell you what I've learned so that you can get there quicker than me. I'm going to give you the 5 secrets that I've learned over the last, let's go 25 years, both in the corporate world, in the non-corporate world, in the sports world, in the endurance world, in life, all that sort of good stuff. With that, we're going to cut the crap and we're going to dive straight in. Now, I turned 40 at the end of last year, and I've been doing quite a lot of soul searching and reflecting, and values have become increasingly important to me. Actually, it's not increasingly important to me, they are important to me. Now, if I were talking to my 20-year-old self, I would say stick to your values and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Now, you might be sat there thinking, Brendan, yeah, I am sticking to my values. Really? Do you know what they are? What is the number one value that you hold dearest? Is it loyalty? Is it trust? Is it faith? Is it integrity? What might it be? I can tell you now, for me, integrity. Integrity is the single most important value that I hold dear, especially when it comes to the working environment. Far too often I found that people will say one thing and do another. That's not integrity, because why would you want to work with and for people that don't act with integrity? Simply, I don't. Not interested. But you don't find that out until you actually start working, and then you might think, this isn't quite as planned. But that's why you've not got to be afraid to make a change. Manners cost nothing at the end of the day. It doesn't matter whether you are the chief exec or the receptionist, you deserve to be treated with the same respect and the same manners. That's it. Integrity is around doing the right thing, even when the right thing is hard. I've been there. I've had to phone bosses in the past to say, just so you know, this is going to happen and this person is going to probably be reasonably cross, and I want you to know before they tell you. Now, that puts me in a difficult position because I'm probably in the wrong, or I'm going to get a bit of a rollicking, but it's the right thing to do, because if I were in that situation, I would want to know as well, just as a heads up, somebody is going to give you a bit of an earful. Also, it means treating people with respect. My word, the corporate world is inundated with complete a-holes. People just don't give a shit. All they're after is the money. They'll say one thing, do another. They'll move the goalposts. Don't do that. Make sure that when you're starting out, you define what those values are. And I'll put a link in the description below for a worksheet that helps you identify those values which are important to you so that you can make sure that you adhere to them as you go forward. But don't let anybody challenge those, because if they're important to you, then you should stick to them. And when you're starting out your career, it can be easy to kind of let things flex so that you can begin to get ahead. But if there's one thing I've learned, sticking to your values is one of the most beneficial things you can do. And it also marks you out as a much better person. Now, your political capital bank balance is basically the amount of trust that people have in you in your business. So let me tell you an example. When you start a new job, you probably come with ideas and enthusiasm and you want to do great things. But the problem is you're new. You have no track record. You don't have a history of transactions that you've proved that you can do what you want to do. A bit like when a new football team lands in the Premiership, people don't have a track record to say, are they going to stay or are they going to not? They've got the history of coming through the leagues, but ultimately, are they going to stay in the Premiership? Who knows? Once you've been there a few years, you actually have a bit of a track record. Not really sure that analogy worked, but bear with me on this one. But as you go through your career and you prove to people that you can do what you say you're going to do and you do it well, then your political capital bank balance, i.e. the amount of trust that people have in you, begins to rise. Now you won't see it, but you'll know that as you talk to people, they'll go, he knows what he's doing. She did a really good job last time. All that is doing is adding cash to your political capital bank balance. Now, why are you building this balance? Because ultimately, at some point, you are going to want to cash it in. There's going to be something that's going to be hugely important to you, and you are going to say, I am all in on this one. Okay, so that's when you cash in your chips. That's when you say, look, trust me, but you've actually got a bit of a track record to say, yes, this is what I've done in the past, and this is what I'm going to do now. I wish I'd known that when I started out. Nobody tells you. Build your political capital bank balance. Not only is it a frigging mouthful, but it's so true. But you don't have that excuse anymore. You will need to work hard and it will take time, but you know what you're working towards now because there is no excuse. Now this comes to you from a very personal endeavour. Way back when I was studying my A-levels, I wanted to be a physiotherapist. Unfortunately, my A-levels were not very good. I take that back. They weren't good enough to get me to becoming a physiotherapist. Now the reason for that was I did the A-levels that were right for physio and not the ones that I actually enjoyed doing. So business studies, biology and history probably weren't quite the right choice for physio. You should apparently do chemistry, but I was really shit at chemistry, so I decided not to do that. And in the end, I didn't get the grades I needed to generate any offers and I didn't become a physiotherapist. Now, the reason for saying this is the older I've got and I've taken career breaks and I've made changes and I've done part-time work that give you time. Oh my God, time is so good. You've got to do what you love. Because yes, you can work for a paycheck, and if that's the case, go and work for an investment bank and get a good day rate and work 90 hours a week for months on end, and hopefully you won't burn out, but I'm going to say the odds are against you. But if you do what you love, and it might be for less money originally, you are going to be more fulfilled, you're going to enjoy what you do, and you're probably going to end up working harder. But it won't feel like a job. Plus, if you work really hard and you're good at what you do, the money will come. Work-life balance has become such a prevalent topic off the back of the pandemic that the world has encountered. Now, I've been shouting about this for a long time, and I think the whole world needs to change from the 9-to-5 working day because it is a flawed concept and makes no sense whatsoever. Now, I know there's going to be people out there who go, oh, Brendan, you can't say that. It's like, well, it's true. Henry Ford created it for the Industrial Revolution, but it doesn't mean it's still applicable now. Why should I work 9-to-5 when in actual fact to get the best out of me means working not from the office, means working flexibly, and means working across a 6 or 7 day period? Who knows? But the point is, if you do what you love, it doesn't feel like a job. Yes, I can make reference to any number of quotes by famous people going, if you do what you do, it doesn't feel like a job, and that is true. But it's hard. When you are starting out, there is a pressure to succeed, especially if you come out of university with a whole long list of debt. I feel sorry for those of you that are having to do that because it's harder to get a job. But conversely, if you start off doing what you do and you love it, it won't feel like a job and you will succeed and you'll put more into it and you'll just be a nicer person to be around. Why do I say that? Well, because I've done a job where I got paid a shitload of cash to basically take minutes and book meeting rooms. And yes, it paid off my student loan, but I was bored. So I changed and I moved a different direction and I quit and I basically made myself change direction because it was just not what I wanted to do. Now, I was going to give you a very cheesy phrase, how we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and that means that we should listen more than we speak, and I think that is very true. But when it comes to your corporate job, or in fact any job, and certainly within the first 90 days, you need to listen. You need to listen to what people are telling you. Now, I had such, oh my word, an insightful conversation with somebody that I'm getting to know in the last week, and he talks about hearing what is not being said. Now, I trained as a life coach, so I fully appreciate that. But when he reflected back to me what I'd said, I was absolutely taken back. He'd heard what I wasn't saying in between the sentiments and underneath the surface and the body language, and it was just mind-blowing. But as you start a new job, you're going to need to do the same. Listen to what people are telling you. They will tell you what the problems are. They will tell you what they think is good. They will tell you what they would do. So why not take it on board? If you come with preconceived ideas, you are setting yourself up for failure. It's a one-way ticket to a world of trouble. I'm sorry. If you decide to copy and paste what worked exactly before, you will fail and you will probably leave within 18 months. Why? Because unless it's been exactly the same situation, exactly the same experience, exactly the same opportunities, with exactly the same funding, it's not going to be the same. So when you start a new job, or you join a new firm, or you take on a new challenge, please listen. Do more listening than you think you should, because that means that you're taking on board and you're becoming a more sort of rounded version, and you're going to have a greater opinion because you've got more facts to hand. It also helps in terms of just building relationships. If you're listening to people and you're understanding and you're reflecting what you've heard, then it makes people feel engaged, makes people feel valued. And that kind of goes back to the first one of stick to your values. Well, if you're going to treat people with respect, then why not listen to what they have to say? Having a plan is key. Now, please learn from the hard way that I experienced, because I didn't have a plan. I sat back and I thought, I'm just gonna see what happens. I'm gonna freestyle it. That's cool, isn't it? Freestyle. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go in this direction. I'm gonna do this for a bit. Oh my word. Seriously, what was that all about? Because yes, freestyling it will only get you so far. But having a plan, even if it is a vague one, is better than no plan at all. Because if I sit here today and say, okay, what do you want to achieve? Tell me. Do you want to become a millionaire? Do you want to impact people's lives? Do you want to secure a new job? Are you looking to complete a challenge? Do you want to start a business? I don't know. What is your plan? If you don't have a plan, you're just aimlessly floating down the proverbial river with no paddle, just being taken wherever the stream takes you. Need to use that analogy again, because it could be alternatively you're up shit creek without a paddle. Okay, maybe that's the whole point, is if you start off without a plan, what starts like a stream ends up just being a really, really dirty stream full of feces, and you don't want to go down that route. Yeah, I'm not sure that works. But you hopefully get where I'm coming from. Smart goals, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and timely. Start that, write it down, give it a go. Doesn't need to be perfect, you don't need to show it to anybody. But if you give yourself a chance to achieve a plan, it certainly helps get you moving forwards. Now, there's a very cheesy phrase that says, shoot for the stars and hit the moon, don't aim for the ceiling and hit the floor. What that's trying to say is be ambitious, go for it. I think it was somebody from Microsoft that said, what are the big, hairy, audacious goals? What are the big ticket stuff that you want to go after? What's mine? I want to impact people. I want to make a difference. As I turn 40, I've decided that I'm going to stop messing around and I'm going to make a difference. I want to help people. I want to help myself. But I can't do that unless I tell you how to go about it. And that's where having a plan matters. Again, it doesn't matter how good the plan is. You can refine it, you can change it, you can evolve it. It could be the plan for the next 90 days, for the next 6 months, year, 2, 5, 10 years, whatever it might be. But have a plan. And that's it. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I also think you'll like this video here where I talk about how I quit my job with nothing to go to because I hated Monday mornings and had the Sunday evening blues. I think you would get a great deal of benefit from watching it too. So with that, I'll leave you all to watch it and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.